Welcome back. Good morning. Welcome to the Football Terrace. I did that the wrong way around. Hit that like and that share button, please. Right about now, subscribe. Yes, I'm talking to you. I can see you. You haven't subscribed and you haven't turned on that bell notification button yet. Get that done right now. This is the Football Terrace. Big shout out to our title sponsors, Manscaped. Get 20% off now of all your male grooming products via their website with my promo code TFT. The links for all of that are in our description below. This is a live phone-in show. We're going to give you the StreamYard link so you can come on and have your say. That will be placed momentarily on our Discord server. All the information, again, for that is in our description below, along with all the other social details, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Go check us out on all of those things. Big report this morning that Manchester United have tried to enter new contract negotiations with Bruno Fernandes, but yet the attacking midfielder has stated a refusal to commit to a new deal as of yet. We'll go through some of what the story says here. I think it's very, very intriguing to me indeed in relation to what they're trying to say to us, what they're trying to tell us. And then we'll delve into it in a little bit more detail. First and foremost, what we see here is, it says Bruno Fernandes has been the catalyst for Manchester United this season in their charge towards the top end of the table. It says Bruno Fernandes may have seen recent comments from Gunnar solskjaer as weakness. That's the first bit. I thought, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? Like this is terrible. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And then, where's it gone here? I've now lost my thread. Right, here we go. Blah 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 blah. It says Manchester United star Bruno Fernandes is now stalling on a new contract at Old Trafford, according to reports in The Athletic. The Portuguese international was found in it. Blah, 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 blah. I don't need to go into any of that here. It says, The Athletic say, as it stands right now, Bruno Fernandes is in no rush to commit. So I'm struggling here with this website because he keeps throwing adverts up in front of me and I can't see what's going on to commit. It's also claimed that he is set to wait and see how the season pans out before committing his future to Man United and signing a new deal. And do you know what? When you read that in its entirety, I'll be honest with you, sounds a bit scary. Wow, Bruno's unhappy with not winning games. He's a winner. He's unhappy with the weak comments from Ollie. He's refusing to go into new contract negotiations. It's a load of bollocks, though, isn't it? It's a load of nonsense. You want to know why it's a load of nonsense? He's been at Manchester United 1 year. 1 year. He signed a 5-year deal with a 1-year contract extension that Man United have the exclusive rights to trigger. So he has 5 years left until he would be able to leave on a free. Even if he says this summer, I don't want to remain, Man United is still in the driving seat in terms of the negotiating power to move him on. Because if people don't offer us what we want, we can just keep him. We can just keep him. By the end of his contract, he'll be 31 years old. There'll be very few clubs looking to spend big money on a 31-year-old player who'll be in the twilight of his career. This story is nothing more than an attempt, from the media to try and throw some petrol over the spark that is our bad form at the moment. And there's no denying that Manchester United have been in a bad run of form over the last 4 or 5 games. There is no doubt that currently, as a club, from the inside out, barring a few individuals, that Manchester United absolutely lack the mental strength to push on, to get over the line. This bad form only really kicked in when we when we were starting to be touted as title contenders. Rashford missing his chances at the weekend, David De Gea's mistakes. For me, this is down to mentality or a lack thereof. Bruno Fernandes, of course, has spoken publicly about his desire to win, how losing is not an option. So what they are doing is putting 2 and 2 together. They're getting 37 and they're creating a story out of it. Bruno Fernandes has refused to get into new contract negotiations. Man United may want to look at a new deal with him pretty soon to keep him 100% happy at the club and look to increase his wages. He may decide, actually, I don't want to commit to another year. I don't want a pay rise just now. I don't want to commit myself further. I just want to focus on my game as things stand. He's on a very good contract, £75,000 per week, plus huge incentive bonuses to move things forward. But even if he does refuse and wants to leave, Man United are in a very strong position. But this is, again, the mainstream media trying to create mountains out of molehills. There is no pressure on Man United to get him onto a new deal. There is no pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Bruno himself has come out on multiple occasions and stressed that the media are not going to come between him and his teammates. The media are not going to come between him and Ole. And it's an absolute travesty, in my opinion. It's a travesty from the media to try and spin this story and throw additional negativity on Manchester United when, in the grand scheme of things, there have been huge improvements this season. Huge improvements this season compared to last year. Are we the finished article? No. Do we have the mentality to win a Premier League title? Not as of yet. Will Ole ever get us there? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that Ole is the manager to help instill that mentality throughout this playing staff. But for that to all be the case, and for them to throw this Bruno Fernandes story in, it's a red rag. It's a red rag to the bull. That's all this is. That's all this is. And most people with a brain will be able to see through this. But I saw the story and I thought it needed to be addressed because it's just more negativity being poured over this Man United squad. And do you know what? With the expectations being, most pundits, most journalists, most YouTubers, most influencers did not predict Man United to even make the top 4 this season. Exactly the same as last year. So being second in the league and only being behind a brilliant Pep Guardiola side, for me, in the grand scheme of things, contextually speaking, isn't that bad. Do I now want this Man United team to kick on? Do I want us to get over this bad form and push on further this season? Do I want our points per game ratio to continue to just grow this season and get better and better? Our win percentage to keep continuing to grow as it has done over the last year? Yes, I do. Do I demand that we develop better mentality to get ourselves over the line in big quarterfinals, big semifinals, and more clutch games? Absolutely. But what I will not allow, that I will not open my door to the wolf. I will not sell my soul to the devil just to criticize my football club. In fact, I won't do it just to criticize any football club. When the story is BS, it's got to be shut down. If Bruno was struggling, he was arguing with the manager, falling out of his teammates, performances were up and down, maybe there's a story in that. But this is absolute BS. BS. Twisted here with his outrageous questions again. Twisted loves to ask questions we will know the answer to. Is the club's winning mentality as strong as Bruno's? Historically, yes, we know this. As it stands right now, in this current climate, no. But we know this. I don't think you need to ask that question, Twisted Bubba. You know the answer. Maybe it's getting me to admit it and testing my integrity. Maybe that's your notion every day. Seems to be what you get out of bed for. Man like Mark here says, Ole will at worst build a team and then move up to footballing director when Ed Woodward retires and Nagelsmann comes in. Well, I don't think Woodward is retiring anytime soon. He also owns part of the football club, Ed Woodward. He owns shares within the club. He's going to be involved for a long time. Listen, if Ole can finish this season well, I'm still willing to give him his final year. to bring his plan to fruition. I think it sends a great message into the club in terms of player power not being able to become prevalent. I think it will set a really good base for the next manager to come in. But we need to progress from this point to the end of the season. We can't drop back now. Can't start dropping to third, to fourth, to fifth. We can't see our points per game total decrease. We can't see our win ratio decrease. We also need to win a trophy. Those things need to happen. Those things need to happen. Man City 21 Premier Leagues loading. Oh, okay, 2021, sorry. If Bruno leaves United, they should get 130 mil. Yeah, I mean, if he was to leave, Man United would get a colossal amount of money for this man. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. We're going to share the link on the Discord server now, so you all can come on and have your say about this situation or anything else that's going on. Man United or Premier League related, not a problem whatsoever. I'm going to share that link right now in the general chat box. So if you go across to the Discord server, you can come on now and have your say. A lot of people every day still try and phone via the actual Discord server. Don't use the StreamYard link that's available now. Some guys called me like today already, like 5 times, and I've sent in the link for the StreamYard, and he just keeps trying to call. It does make me laugh sometimes because I think, do you not listen to the show? What are you listening to? What's going on? What's going on with you? You're looking kind of... Neil here says, what if he wants to win now and can't see that with United's board and manager? Then yes, but this article has been printed in a way to sound like it's leaving Man United in a precarious position. If he really wanted to go now, it would be sad. We would get a huge amount of money. No, as a standpoint, when someone's deal is thrown up as the reason as to why a player is wanting to leave, it's always thrown out there as a bit of a story as to say, oh, Man United are about to lose big money. They're going to lose negotiating power. They haven't got a leg to stand on. The player may walk away free of charge, as we may end up seeing, for instance, with Paul Pogba. They're trying to create that same notion here. They're trying to manufacture a terrible, outrageously bad situation. That's all they're trying to do here, Neil. It's clear and simple to me. First up on the show today, we're going to start taking your calls now. Make sure you're all smashing that like button. We've got man like Pav here. Pav, Bruno Fernandes refusing a new deal. That's what the media are telling us today. What's your thoughts, mate?
I wouldn't even remember that story for a second. Like, this guy loves Man United, and after a year, you're telling me that the media are saying this guy wants to leave. Get out of here, man. The media just chat so much crap. Like, we've had one or two little setbacks. They see that Man United fans are like pissed off, as rightly as they should be. But coming out with stories like this to stir the pot even more, it's a nonsense. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm already rattled from this morning from seeing that the Glazers had lifted up that bloody trophy last night, and then I'm reading, like, obviously these little nuisance articles about Bruno Fernandes. It's just like, oh, get out of here, man. I'm still not even over that Everton game. Like, it took me till this morning to watch the replays of that game, so I'm still pissed about it. And then, like I said, the Glazers, man, they got hold of that bloody trophy last night with a fucking...
Pav, can you do me a favor? Your mic keeps cutting in and out. I don't know if it's you moving away from your microphone or what. It just, every sort of 4 words, it dips out.
Is that better?
That's perfect. Yeah, whatever you're using or doing, it dips in and out. Yeah, go on, continue, please, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, so obviously I was just saying about the Glazers. It's like, we need investment in our team. Like, there's a lot of positions where these holes need to be filled, and in the summer they need to really go out and do what they've done for the Buccaneers, where they gave Tom Brady a 50 million plus deal at the age of 43, right? And that's helped them progress to get what they got last night. So they really need to start looking at our team, and they need to start filling these gaps. Like, our centre-back partnership, I can't deal with it anymore. It's got to a point where I can't like talk anything positive about what's going on. we need to probably sell one of our midfielders, Fred. We need to start upgrading certain positions, and then we can start looking to winning trophies. Until then, I think we're really going to be pushing for top four. And like you said, like if this Bruno thing is true, I wouldn't be mad if he wants to go, because people like him deserve to win trophies. Like this guy's come here, right, and he's helped us to go on our longest away run. But certain players who play for our rivals have come into their team and helped their team lose their longest ever home record, Thiago. So yeah, it's just like our club.
I hear what you listen. I hear what you're saying on the Glazers thing, them winning the Super Bowl. There's part of me this morning that was annoyed seeing them win it. I was kind of happy for Tom Brady. I like to see great sports people achieve the unthinkable. And everyone think, 2 years ago, he was retiring, and then he sort of does a U-turn, comes back, wins and wins it again. I think he's only the second person to win it with two different franchises. Of course, winning the Super Bowl 7 times was just I think he now moves into that category of being, one of the greatest sportsmen ever, along with, with the Muhammad Ali's, with the Lewis Hamiltons, the Usain Bolts, the Michael Phelps, like goes into that, the Sir Stephen Redgraves. They just go into the category of GOATs, which is great. From a Glazer point of view, yeah, it kind of annoyed me to see them so happy. The only thing, again, if you're going to look if you're a positive person, how you can look at this is, well, maybe, just maybe, this will be maybe they get the bug for what it feels like to be at the pinnacle, and maybe they will put a bit more time and attention into Man United on the field of play, as opposed to just making money from them. But what I would say to those positive people is, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, because your lips are going to turn blue, in my opinion. On Bruno Fernandes, I hear you. He does deserve to be winning trophies. And I think if we fast forward 12 months, as I've said already in this show, and we don't continue to progress, then I do think he will look at the potential of leaving and moving on elsewhere. However, that isn't going to stop him from signing a new deal. The new deal that's being put in front of him isn't overtly an extension in time. It's an improvement in salary. He's already got 5 years remaining. It may be an extra year plus 1 year extension, but that won't stop him from leaving. So you listen to what a lot of the comments are saying, Terry, but if he wants to leave, if he isn't happy, he'll force a move. Yeah, he can do. So that doesn't change anything. He'd be an idiot not to sign the new deal in the short to medium term, because it can improve his salary. What you're probably looking at is Man United thinking, right, another way of keeping him happy is to increase what he's earning. And he also deserves a pay rise. He deserves a pay rise for his performances. So he's on 75 grand a week base. They are probably going to offer him in a new deal somewhere in the region of 130 to 150,000 pound a week base, with very lucrative win bonuses for himself to keep him happy. The only thing that will change between this contract and the new one is he's earning more money. If, for instance, and by the way, Man United in turn are going to be earning more money out of him. So it'll also be the agent at some point knocking on the door saying, yo, we need to speak about getting him an increase in salary. But it doesn't change anything. If he signs it and then we don't progress, he'll still look to move. Cristiano Ronaldo, Luis Suarez, the Premier League is littered with examples of players that had greater ambitions or different ambitions to the clubs they were at, sign new deals, and they still move forward. Signing a new deal, especially when he's got 5 years remaining on his current contract, doesn't stop him from leaving if he truly wants to leave. As I say, it's not a complete and utter non-story. It's just being exaggerated and twisted into a way to make it sound like there's turmoil at Man United. And the one thing I'm going to say is this: barring the way the Glazers run things, in terms of this dressing room at Manchester United, the only problem lacking is an overall winner's mentality. There's no infighting. There's no problems with the manager. There's no lack of cohesion or togetherness. It's probably the best unity we've seen within the Man United squad now since Ferguson retired. And all I keep seeing from the media, the rival fans are meant to do this. All I keep seeing from Ollie Outers and from the rival and from the media, every few months they're trying to destabilize it and break things apart. And for me, it's a shambles to see. Pav, thank you for coming on the show as ever, mate. Really do appreciate that, buddy. Speak to you again soon. Next up, we've got Mark all the way from Australia. Mark, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What you saying, buddy?
Always a pleasure to be here, Terry. First off, I wanted to say congratulations to Manchester United for winning the Super Bowler. Make no mistake, it was bought and paid for by us at Manchester United, not a bunch of supermarkets in America which could never afford to pay Tom Brady's wages, which are pretty incredible. And thank God, it's a positive for me. Thank God they won it, because now the overpaid old quarterback can retire and maybe we can get some of our money to spend on our team. Congratulations also to Allison. Don't want to forget about Liverpool. They've made my midweek and my weekend an absolute winner after the horrible Southampton loss. Congratulations, Allison. First time a goalkeeper has gotten 2 assists in one game. That's amazing. Shout out to Zane, my mate Zane. He looks like he hasn't slept for a week, so I'm a bit worried for you, mate. So I hope you can finally come to terms with whatever's. Liverpool's obviously ruining your life, so I don't know, mate. I'm worried for you. Back to Bruno, though. That man is loyal. One thing I know about Bruno, you look at how he cried when he left Sporting. He is committed to United and the project. He is leading it. Bruno is a spiritual leader of Manchester United, even if he's not the captain. This is where he wants to be. Anyone looking with honest eyes can see that. Straight up, though, Bruno needs to be paid like Tom Brady. I'm just bringing this back around and land it. He knows he deserves to be on top bracket wages, and it's time. And Manchester United are a fair club, and the Glazers need to be fair. You know, he deserves it. And that is, like exactly as you said, Terry, if there's any truth in this, it's that Bruno, he deserves it. We want to keep him happy. And, we need to make this work for him because he's earned it.
No, mate, you're right. He has earned it. And I think for me, I want to see Man United's money spent on Manchester United as well. It's frustrating to see it given to other sports clubs or franchises, as they call them in the States. It really, really is. For me, like I've said before, it doesn't matter whether I'm backing a manager or I think the manager isn't good enough, etc. I'll always defend a football club against lies and negative stories that are just simply not true. In the same way that I'll protect is probably the wrong word for it. I'll stand up for fans when I see clubs print BS PR that isn't true. For me, it's a case of this is an exaggerated story. I'm not saying it doesn't stem from seeds of truth. There's probably an element of him refusing to discuss a new contract now. But a lot of players do that at this point of the season. Generally speaking, it's, look, my head's focused on playing football. I don't want to get into contract negotiations. That's probably the most likely thing, Mark. It's we'll talk about it in the summer. Thank you. I want to talk about it in the summer because it won't be signed until the summer. So let's talk about it then. Let me focus on the football.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put my neck out. I'll put my neck on the chopping block. I'll speak from the neck here, Terry, and I'll say, you know what? Bruno is an actual chance to win the Ballon d'Or. Bruno is going to probably end up with he's won more Player of the Month awards than anyone in a calendar year. He's a chance to win all sorts of things. Portugal could do really big stuff in the Euros. He could end up who knows what at the end of this season. So Bruno knows this is not the time. Manchester United want him to sign a new contract now because they can get a better deal. But Bruno's thinking, you know what? I could be European champion. I could have a Ballon d'Or in my pocket. I could be anything by the end of this season. And he's right. He needs to wait because he could be on top bracket. When I say he could be on top bracket, man, he's on that incline where he's going to end up right at the very top of the game, and he deserves to get everything coming his way. He's an absolute superstar, and we're lucky to have him at United. He's got that inner drive to be a winner at any cost, and that is worth. It's not just he's got the techers. Like, the man is skilled. That goal was a worldie on the weekend. I was in heaven. I was doing that. I was trying to start a chainsaw here in front of the TV. Let me tell you, I was pumped. The guy is a superstar, and he deserves everything that's coming his way. He should be on the top bracket, Terry.
There we go. Mark, thank you very much for calling in and having your say. I appreciate your support as ever. Ballon d'Or winner, Bruno Fernandes. He has the ability to do it. Everyone knows my thoughts on him as a footballer. The problem is you have to win. You have to win your league title. And pretty much the Champions League if you're going to do it. It's as simple as that. Andre here says, I want Man United fans to realize that Tampa Bay has nothing to do with Man United. The NFL is self-sustained with no extra costs to owners. Fair play. I don't know the setup of it. As I say, I'm not overtly bitter. Seeing the Glazers happy and winning it annoyed me. But am I bitter or anything? No, not really. It's as simple as that. Bruno puts himself in the best shop window in the world. He can achieve so much more elsewhere. Maybe he can. Again, he isn't going anywhere for now. So that's it. I mean, when you play for any Premier League team, you're in a massive shop window. And unless you're in the best team in the league at that moment in time, you could theoretically do better elsewhere. You could say that about any Chelsea player. You could say that about, not any Chelsea, you could say that about Chelsea's best players. You could say it about Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe. You could say it about most of the Tottenham stars. It's as simple as that. But they're not all going to go. They're not all going to leave. Bruno's a year in, going nowhere just now. There's no doubt about it. I know some Man United fans, I would swap him tomorrow for Ndombele. But other than that, it's all good. But win the Ballon d'Or. What we saying, people? Next up on the show, we've got Sarim, who's a Liverpool fan. Welcome back to the Football Terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Mate, yeah, Bruno's a great player, and I think the Glazers really need to go into summer and build a team around him. You've got Rashford, you've got Bruno, who are two very good players who can take you forward, and this story itself is just a load of nonsense. I think he'll be there for a long, long time, as long as you stay competitive and be serious.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think he's here for a while. The length of the contract puts us in a strong position. He doesn't appear to be the kind of... Interestingly, he throws his toys out of his prams during the game, but he doesn't strike me to have an ounce of unprofessionalism within him. Forcing moves away. I just don't see that being him at all. I know a lot of rival fans, even in the comments, are trying to pull on that thread, but it's falling upon deaf ears because they're just... All they're trying to do is trigger, and it's not going to work.
I wish we had him in our team at this moment in time, because Liverpool are playing poor. We need someone like him who's just spitting his dummy out. He's screaming, he's shouting at players. He's taking leadership, and that's the most important thing that he's done at United. He's taken leadership, he's taken ownership and said, right, okay, you're not doing well, fine, I'll pull my socks up and I'll do this. And I can imagine him just slapping people up in the changing rooms as well, some of these players, and tell them, look, wake the fuck up. Let's go. Let's do this. And I think he's one of those players that'll go down. If he stays at United and wins trophies, he'll be one of the best players United ever had. He'll be talked about that.
Do you know what? He has those capabilities of doing it. And I think, I mean, it's a gamble. It's a gamble for him in relation to staying and hoping the mentality comes in. Where United fans need to remain positive. And of course, the reaction on Saturday is fair. There was cowardice from players. There was a lack of mentality from others. There was bottling from some. There's no doubt. It's still fair to challenge the overall capabilities of the overall capabilities of the manager.
Yeah,
but can't deny the progression in the last 12 months. It isn't inconceivable. We cannot progress at the same rate as we did last year because it's actually impossible for our win ratio and points per games to double again. But there's no denying that, again, a good summer, 2 or 3 more of the additional players that are needed into this team. Now, if Bailly had the ability to stay fit consistently and he was playing, I don't believe we'd have lost that game on Saturday as an example.
No.
You can obviously look at the goalkeeper situation. We need to look at the right-hand side of the attack. We do that and continue to improve on our mentality, which has got better from last year, but it just isn't where we want it to be. Of course, we can win things. And I think breaking that duct is going to be important. And then in turn, if Bruno stays performing at the levels that he is right now, yeah, sky's the limit, no doubt.
Can I add to that for a second?
And having your say, really do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much indeed. Let's do some more of your comments here. Lol slapping people up. Bruno was a model professional at sporting when he left for United. Yeah, absolutely. The guy is a gem. There's no doubt about it. Twisted here again with another obscure comment. Says Terry, for perspective, Benteke and 120,000 a week. Bruno is worth 10 times that much. What's your point? Like, make a point. Come on, Twisted. Always with these weird comments. You know, you're like Prime. Are you Prime in disguise? Are you Prime in disguise? Saying lots, but never actually saying anything. Come on, bro. Say something. Make a point. Make a statement instead of always asking questions. Show some chest, bruv. Or, bruv, do you know what's mad? You must have confidence. You must have confidence, Twisted. Look at your haircut, bruv. And you're telling me you ain't got confidence. If you go out in public with that kind of haircut, you have to be a confident man. I physically couldn't do it. My hair couldn't do that. You must be hella confident. Say it with your chest, brother. Say it with your chest. Come on and get it done. Next on the show, man like Philip Hunt here, another Liverpool fan this morning. What are you saying, Phil?
Hi, Terry. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you after your annihilation yesterday?
The game was at like 12:30 in the morning. You know, my girlfriend doesn't like me staying up late, so I just fell asleep. I got up in the morning, looked at my notification and said, "Who won man in the match?" I was like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And then I watched the highlights and guess Allison turned into prime Karius. So it was sort of like putting a dog out of its misery. It's like, it's going to be dead soon. You might as well just, that was our title race. It's like, you just put it out of the misery so we can focus on top four instead. But you know, you got to expect it sometimes. Not every year you're going to win, especially Liverpool. You know, we bounce back next season. Let's hopefully, you know, last year City, everyone wrote the obituaries for Pep, and now look at him, what he's doing now. So,
and you know what? And that's the attitude to have. It's done this year. Liverpool cannot, from this point, win the league title. In my view, nothing to it's not a mathematical certainty, but what have they got if they win their game in hand?
It would be crazy if it did happen.
Yeah, it would be almost testament embarrassing for Pep, and from this stage at this point, all things being considered, the greatest comeback in Premier League history. So the likelihood of those two things happening simultaneously are very, very unlikely indeed. So it's done, but absolutely right. And this is where I've had a lot of jip with Liverpool fans. You can criticize Klopp's tactics. You can say he has to have more dimensions to his play. You can criticize FSG. You can criticize players. None of that means you have to say Klopp out. It's this weird mantra right now with fan bases where any kind of dissent is the equivalence of wanting Klopp sacked. I think it's a societal thing where if you criticize one thing about somebody, you're just against them. It's madness.
Yeah. Terry, like this morning, I watched Klopp's post-match interview, and he got angry with the reporter, and I was just like, "Stop doing like I love him so much because what he's done, but whenever he gets mad at reporters lately, just embarrasses me and embarrasses most Liverpool fans. It's like, just don't get into the mud." And like, that's not me being Klopp out. That's not being anti-Liverpool. That's me wanting him to be better. Like, because he represents us out there. He's like, you know, the first, person for Liverpool. So whenever he does these silly things with the reporters, it's like, you know, you're just buying into what they want. You're giving them the soundbite. You know, you're acting like a child. Don't do it.
No, absolutely. I mean, the way he spoke to Jeff Streeves, what was that with Streeves?
Yeah.
The other day, ridiculous. And he's been doing it. He's been doing it for weeks. Jurgen Klopp is an amazing winner. When he wins, he's humble. But when he loses, he's like the opposite of Conor McGregor.
I think that's
No.
Yeah.
When Conor, when it's the wrong way, but it's the wrong way around for me. You're meant to be humble in victory, and you're meant to be gracious. Humble in both.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? If you win, sorry, it's not the wrong way.
Defeat.
If you win,
I
don't mind you gloating. It's when you lose, you've got to show a little bit of self-reflection. Klopp's the other way. When he loses, he becomes an awful, horrible man. It's nasty to the journalists, and there's no reason for it. They're asking questions that fans are asking. Fans are asking those questions. They're like, well, we want to know why this is happening.
Yeah, I mean,
how can you turn it around? What can you do?
He got angry at a report. he gets angry at reporters for asking him if we're in the title race, and it's like, of course they're going to ask that because, that's what you ask when you're in the top four and you're chasing it. I understand, like now since we're out of it, no one's going to ask us anymore. But leading up to the City
Yeah.
game, of course they're going to ask you that.
And I hear that. And my Conor McGregor reference is this: when Conor McGregor wins, he's a bell end. He shows off. He gives it the big one. When he loses, most humble man about. He'll, this is what I got right. This is what I got wrong. We'll go again. Well done.
Yeah.
Barring the Khabib fight, because obviously that had underlying personal situations and stuff like that. And but everything else, and that's what I want to see from me as an individual. It's my preference. I want to see. I don't mind people gloating in victory, celebrating in victory. But when you lose, and when a lot of it is down to you, don't shout at a journalist for doing their job and asking the right questions. Grow a backbone. Simple as that. Philip, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that this morning. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Next on the show, he's back. He's back. Eye Test is here, everyone. Eye Test, welcome back. What you saying, bro?
Yes. So, I saw the title of the video, and I've watched the beginning part, but I saw the title and I was like, yes, I'm happy. If he's really stalling on a contract, he can go away. I don't want him at my club. Yeah, I'm not gonna disrespect him and say he's a bad player and all that, because obviously he has high numbers. But I think for the team, if we could get a Jack Grealish, for me, in my opinion, Jack Grealish is better than Bruno. If we could get a Jack Grealish, Bruno, you could go away. You could go away. You see, when I look at people rate Bruno Fernandes, I'm like, you see, I grew up watching proper number 10s. I grew up watching David Silva's, cultured number 10s. David Silva's, Mesut Ozil's, Santi Cazorla's, proper number 10s. Raquelme, proper number 10s. I know what a proper number 10 looks like. These number 10s like David Silva's, they don't give the ball away. They don't have 75% pass accuracy, but they still create chances. Look at Jack Grealish, for example. Jack Grealish's pass accuracy is in the 80%, and he creates more than Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is in the mid-70s. He creates less than Jack Grealish. For me, Jack Grealish also has more to his game. He could dribble. Creates more than Bruno. For me, if Bruno wants to stall on a contract, you could go. We will take Jack Grealish. We'll take Jack Grealish. For me, much better player than he is.
They don't play the same position, mate.
He could play a number 10. He could still play 10. He could still play 10.
That isn't.
Or we could move to a 4-3-3 because Grealish can still play in a 4-3-3 in a Mazzala role in a left hand side. So we don't have to play the same formation. If Bruno goes, we could still change it up. Fit Jack Grealish in.
I hear you. I hear you on that. I mean, what is your underlying? You can hear it in your voice. What's your sort of underlying issue with Bruno Fernandes? You talk about the pass completion. You're right. Is around that 70% mark. He is not. You're right. As good a creator, in my opinion, as Jack Grealish. But what about the abundance of goals? What about the match-winning performances? What about the leadership, the captain material, the way he's elevated the team, the win ratio that's improved since he's been here? Would you be willing to risk all of that? And have you not listened to why, and in terms of the contract negotiation stalling, this is not him saying, I don't want to be at Man United. It's just they're still talking this summer about giving me a pay increase. He's literally saying my pay increase is not worth a distraction from the team on the field right now. Isn't that not how you want your players to behave?
You see, you talk about the goals, you talk about the assists, but this is the issue of today's football. I grew up watching David Silva. He never got anywhere near as many as goals and assists as Bruno Fernandes, but he was much better than Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion. What he did for the team, he never lost. He had most of the time his pass accuracy was over 85. Bruno's is in the mid-70s. Raquelme, proper number 10. My father taught me about these proper number 10s, these cultured 10s. Bruno, for me, isn't a proper number 10. He gives the ball away too easily. His pass accuracy is horrible. Yeah. For me, if you get a number 10, yeah, like a David Silva, he might not get as many goals and assists. Yeah, but for the team, it will be much better. The team overall will create more chances because we're going to keep the ball much better. We're going to have the ball much more. Yeah. So that's what I believe. A David Silva might not create as much, but the team will create much more. He might not get as much goals as Bruno Fernandes, but the team will get much more. You can't tell me Bruno Fernandes is better than David Silva because he has more goals and assists. You do the eye test and you know David Silva's clear. That's my type of number 10. You know, Raquelme. I know number 10.
And you know what? And listen, if Bruno Fernandes left tomorrow and we brought in a player who could come in and create and make us more goals, then there's an element to say fair enough. There's an element to say fair enough. But David Silva doesn't exist anymore in terms of at the highest level. Raquelme is retired. So the two players that you're using as an example that you think could make Man United better are not available. So it's conjecture. It doesn't make any sense. It's like saying right now, listen, I think Cavani's great, but give me R9 give me R9 any day, and he'll do a better job than Cavani. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, do you know what? Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are amazing heavyweights. Wouldn't beat Muhammad Ali. What does that matter? What does that matter in you know, what's that got to do with the price of eggs? I don't know if that's the right word. The right phrase to use. Maybe I've got that wrong. I don't really care because you're confusing me. You're right. The creativity. By the way, David Silva's pass completion rate in the Premier League was 75%. I just had it checked. Do you know what's interesting though for me is that you discount stats like goals scored by Bruno Fernandes, but use stats like chances created for Raquelme and David Silva and Jack Grealish as to why they're better players. So you strike me. This is where you strike me as a strange person, and all of you eye test merchants do this in football. You say that stats don't matter, but every argument you have against Bruno Fernandes is statistically based.
No, listen. I'm saying
if you have pass completion rate of 75%, is that not a stat?
Yes, it's a stat.
So I think stats don't matter.
But I'm saying, yes, he does get a lot of goals and assists as well. But I'm saying the team will get more goals and assists.
What's your proof? What proof do you have that someone who loses the ball less is a fact? That, you know, and who would be the person now? Okay, so I'll take your point as being read that if we bring in a more creative person into that number 10 role, you can't have Jack Grealish because he doesn't play number 10. He just that is not his preferred position. It's not his best position. It's from the left. So you've got no evidence that he could go into a 10 role for a team like Man United, where majority of teams play mid and low blocks against us. Who would be the number 10 out there now in Premier League or world football that could be more creative, more impactful, and win us more games than Bruno Fernandes? Who's that guy?
Well, he doesn't need to play number 10. He could play in a 4-3-3 on the left hand side. He could do that. He's done that.
Okay.
So he doesn't have to be a number 10. And even if we are playing a number 10, I think he's capable of playing number 10. I think he is.
And you're saying Jack Grealish is that person? That's it.
Jack Grealish. There's not many good options out there, to be honest. Jack Grealish, and I'll need to look for more.
So you don't really know then, do you? You're just saying Jack Grealish is that?
No, I'm looking for a certain profile. I'm looking for a profile
Listen, I'm talking. So I love Jack Grealish. I think Jack Grealish is amazing. I want him at Manchester United. But Bruno Fernandes is an absolute phenom. The chances he creates, the amount of goals that he scores, the variety in the goals that he scored. His leadership is imperative to Manchester United moving forward. I find it staggering that he is arguably one of the best signings the club has ever made. He has to go on to prove that and help us win major titles, but that's also a club issue as well. Those two things have to work exclusively with one another. But your disregard of want to move him on so simplistically strikes me as a rather odd attention-seeking agenda, if I'm being honest.
Listen, I'm not denying Bruno Fernandes is a good player, yeah. I just prefer a certain style, and I think with the type of number 10 that I want would be much better for the team.
Okay, so now you
Would be
keep
a lot better for the
this
team.
is where, again, this is where your argument falls down. You keep saying the kind of number 10 you want. So tell me who this number 10 is. You can't say no, we'll just play Jack Grealish in a 4-3-3 because now you don't have a number 10. So again, your argument falls down. If you came on here and said, I don't want Man United playing with the 10, I want us to go 4-3-3. So that means get rid of, I would sell Bruno, cash in on him, and I'd go and buy Mbappe and Jack Grealish. That's a fair argument. Whether it's plausible is another thing. You're not. Your argument falls down because 1 minute you're saying he's not the kind of number 10 I want to play in the number 10 role at Man United. So give me the names of people that retain the ball more, that impact the game more, that create more, and that score more, and that will elevate us forward, who play number 10. Not Jack Grealish, because he doesn't. He plays on the left. He fluctuates between sides and moves, but he's a starter on the left-hand side. So who are these number 10s, I test, that you think are dramatically that much better than Bruno Fernandes? Go.
Listen, that's the jobs of the scouts. But if I was at the club, I'll tell the scouts, look, find me a player that has good ball retention.
That for me is half a cop out. Name me. You must have at least one or two in the world that you enjoy watching. Because
someone like David Silva, but he doesn't exist today.
Not like David
someone.
There must be someone. Who is there? Who's out there? Give me the names of some players. You must know their names.
Listen, like I said, that's the job of the scouts.
You have no idea. Someone. You are trying it. I test. You've absolutely done yourself. You've absolutely done yourself. You have no idea.
I don't need to name the players. I just have an idea of a number 10 that I want.
So what you're actually asking for is, I mean, what you're asking for, I can see logic in it, but it's backward logic. I also would like someone better than Bruno Fernandes, because imagine how good that person would be. The problem is that person might not exist. They might not be born. They might not live on Earth. Do you know what I mean? Man scouting on Mars. It's like, imagine how good a player would be if they were better than Messi. But do they exist? Like,
no, I'm not saying
you don't even know. You don't even know
if your profile
or exists.
I'm asking for a profile that the scouts can look for. I'm asking for a certain profile that scouts can look for. I might not be able to name the names.
I test. That's what every scout in the world is always looking for. They are always looking for the best players in the world. They're always looking for improvements. Do you know what never happens? Do you know what's never happened at any football club ever? Is a scout's gone out with the instructions of the club to go, we want a new midfielder, but can you make sure they're not as good as our current midfielders? It doesn't happen. It doesn't, bruv. You're talking. Do you know what you're doing? This is the example. You're saying, Terry, guess what? No, let me ask you this. I test. Guess what?
Yes.
Guess what? Guess what? Do you know if you stop breathing, you die? You're saying things that are they sound stupid because they're so obvious. We'd all love an upgrade on Bruno if that person exists. The thing is, you don't. Yeah,
no, I'm asking for different profile.
That is attainable.
Profile.
Yeah,
not necessarily better
profile, but you must have an idea of. There must be one person in your mind who stands out that fits that profile in the current day game. The reason there isn't one is because you're talking Bruno being top of the tree. If someone said now who's better than Cavani, you could probably name me 2 or 3 strikers. Who's a better centre back than Maguire? You could name me better centre backs. Better right back than AWB. There'll be a few probably you could still name. You know, better midfield. If I said to you now, name me some better midfielders than Scott McTominay, could you do it?
Of course.
If I said, okay, so if I said to you, name me some better attackers than Kylian Mbappe, the list ain't as long, is it?
I could still name you lots of attacking midfielders better than Bruno.
Like that are attainable for us to sign.
No, like I can't think of many.
You can't. So forget profile here. name me attacking midfielders that Man United would have the capability of signing. So you can't, Kevin De Bruyne's out as an example, that we could sign now that in your eyes are out and out better than Bruno Fernandes.
Okay. You see, this might not be realistic. Thomas Müller, yeah, broke the assist record last season in the Bundesliga.
So right now, at the age Thomas Müller is, you'd buy him and get rid of Bruno.
100%. I think he's much better than Bruno, in my opinion.
So
in my opinion, he's much better than Bruno.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is Thomas Müller?
Jack Grealish, I don't know, like 32, 31.
You would sell a 26-year-old now for a 31-year-old.
Yes, I think he's better than him, 100%.
Okay. Who else?
Who else? Okay. I think Grealish, Coutinho,
Coutinho.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember Coutinho at Liverpool. If we could get a Coutinho at Liverpool, he's better than Bruno.
So I said attainable. We ain't signing. Okay, cool. Mate, you're mad. By the way, guys, let me just address one thing you've said. I think David Silva is one of the best football players in Premier League history. I think he's an absolute superstar. I'm not disregarding him. If we had a time machine and could bring back a 24-year-old David Silva, and it was announced tomorrow that Bruno's leaving, but we're replacing him with David Silva, I wouldn't be crying about it. I'm not even saying what you've said in its logic is wrong, but there's no practicality to it. You know, there's no practicality to it at all. The one thing I'll say,
Isco. Isco, bro. Why are you laughing, bro? Isco's a baller. I'm telling you, it's just that Real Madrid don't suit him. Right? He don't suit Real Madrid. I'm telling you, Isco, bro, on his day, Isco.
Hey, Isco. You know, listen, you are a madman. I love you. I love listening to you, Itest, because I'm not a very smart person, but when I listen to you talk football, I swear to God, I feel like Albert Einstein, bruv. It's a madness. It's one of them things. Listen, Itest, legend as ever. Thank you. Are you still back in Ollie, by the way?
Listen, for me, I thank Ollie for everything he's done. I've always said, I think he's brought us to a level, yeah, that Mourinho couldn't, that LVG couldn't, that Moyes couldn't. But I'm not sure if he's the guy to win us the league. But I'm gonna give him time. I'm not 100% sure if he's the guy to, you know, win Champions Leagues, win Premier League. But I'm happy for what he's done so far. He's brought us to a level. He steadied the ship, as a lot of people said he would do if we bring him in. But now it's time to see if he's the guy to win the league, to win the Champions League.
And I agree with that.
I need to see.
And I think that's a fair point that you just made there about, you know, I think he's taken us to a point. It's do or die now for me. It's move to the next stage or we move on. Just out of interest, I want to share this little bit of information with you. So David Silva's Premier League career, 75% pass completion on average per game. And 2.1 chances created per game on average. Bruno Fernandes, 75% pass completion with 2.1 chances created on average per game. What you'll find as a general rule is that most of the best attacking midfield players, the ones that are highly creative or high-level goal scorers, all tend to have between 73 and 80% pass completion. And you're talking the difference per game of misplaced passes between them all is 1, 2, 3, 4. As singularities standing out. They all, on average, tend to lose the ball between 22 and 25 times per game. It's just almost systematic with what they do because the better creators are more high-risk football players. So even statistically, you're wrong about David Silva. Now, I think David Silva is amazing, right? But you made it sound like he never loses the ball and he was superior to chances created. Even in Man City's team, it was still only 2.1 per game. It's a madness, bro. It's a madness that you don't even know what you're talking about. But I love you anyway. You're a great guy. Look after yourself, Itest, and we'll chat to you again soon. Thank you, Ali. Wow. My gosh. Do me a favor and smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Itest is the gift who continues to keep giving. It's just, do you know what it comes down to? People can have, I don't know what he bases his opinions on. I want a better player than Bruno. Does that better player exist? I don't know. I want to fly like Superman. But it ain't gonna happen. Like, it's mad. Next on the show, we've got Ansar. Ansar's back with us. What you saying, bro?
Oh, hi, Terry.
Hello. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm cool, mate. You've called me about 3 different names now. Yesterday was Ash, and today's Ansar. It's Hassan, mate.
Hassan, sorry. It's small writing. I'm dyslexic. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, so sorry, mate. And honestly, great to be on again, mate. How you doing?
I'm good. Yes, on my writing, it looks like ANSAH. And it's not, is it? Is it AHSAN?
That's the one, brother. That's
How's
the
it
one.
pronounced? How's it pronounced?
Hassan.
Hassan. Okay, there we go. There we go. It literally doesn't look like that in front of me, but there we go. And that's the
Cool.
it's my dyslexic brain swapping the H and the N. Anyway, mate, what did you make of what iTest just said?
I'll tell you what, iTest new name should be Kinder Surprise because you just don't know what you're going to get, mate, honestly.
Yeah,
I think
he's mad.
he's a character. I respect him for his views. But hey, well off the boil. I mean, you're talking about Bruno here, the guy with almost a goal contribution every game. I mean, I can't think of any player with that level of statistics. And Bruno doesn't play as a number 10. He's a attacking midfielder. So comparing him to De Silva, Riquelme, etc., made no sense, to be honest. But if it made him happy, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I on a level when it comes to Bruno Fernandes, you know, this whole. I mean, this is the maddest thing. I just like I watched the beginning of the video, so you'll know that this is the media spinning the story, and his first reaction is, if he wants to go, get rid of him. Imagine saying that about a man who's been this impactful at Manchester United. It's unthinkable, really, that anybody would even talk about Bruno like that.
Absolutely. I mean, have you seen the amount of passion he shows in his games when he scored that winner against Newcastle, for example? The pure adrenaline he shows and passion for the team. And when he got substituted off, you could tell he was unhappy. I mean, this guy, he loves the team. He loves playing for Man United. He's a pure focused player who just wants to do the best for the team. And he's only just been there like 2 minutes. So, I mean, it's sensationalistic journalism here just to try and make a story out of nothing. I mean, the biggest stories out there in football are Liverpool's decline. Alisson, for example, I don't know how he's getting away with not being focused on so much. I mean, great goalkeeper. Well, he's had a couple of great seasons. But, I mean, yesterday, flipping hell, that was terrible. I was laughing.
Yeah, as you say, he's such an impactful player. It's unbelievable. It really, really is. And as you say, the way he led the team, the way he's driven the team forward, the impacting games, the everything is there. And yeah, as you say, it's journalistic sensationalism at its worst. And then people but it's designed for people like iTest, I think. It really, really is. Listen, bro, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming on and having your say, mate. I really appreciate it. I'll chat to you again soon, my brother. All the best.
Brother. All the best.
All the best. Thank you. Next up, we've got Aaron is back with us, aka Sam Smith. What you saying, Aaron?
Hi, Terry. First of all, quick thing on the games that I didn't get to talk about because unfortunately I was a little bit late. I didn't manage to come on the Liverpool stream, and I missed the Chelsea one because I was editing the Fleetwood preview. So because we're playing on a Tuesday, so there we go. Liverpool got annihilated. Alisson turned into Carriers, and Man City took advantage brilliantly. Sheffield United, I thought, were in the game in place against Chelsea, but Chelsea just had that extra class. And I feel sorry for Sheffield United because I think the big injury to their main defender, Jack O'Connell, kind of set their season on point. And hopefully they will get back to the Premier League if they do get relegated. But if they do complete the Great Escape, then Chris Wilder's the man. Speaking about the Bruno Fernandes situation, I know, all respect to iTest, love the guy, brilliant character. I don't know what he's talking about. Yes, I'd love Jack Grealish, but he's not an out-and-out count. His preferred position is on the wing, like you said, Terry. So this story about Bruno Fernandes is just stirring the pot, dropping in the eye of new and making it poisonous. And, Bruno Fernandes, if there was truth in it and he wants to leave, I would not blame him, because I watched the Super Bowl. Thank God I watched it on the BBC last night. And I see the Glazers lifting that trophy. And, there was that guy's comment that we saw earlier about how it's not related to the Premier League and, all this kind of stuff. I get that. But there's no reason why we can't watch them lift a Super Bowl and get absolutely angry about it. Even though I'm a new fan, I hate seeing football clubs being mismanaged by American owners especially. Look at Kroenke at Arsenal, for example. So when I see the Glazers lift the trophy, there's no reason why you can't get angry with that. So if Bruno Fernandes is still on a contract and there is truth in it that he wants to leave, I would not blame him. But again, if he does go at the end of this season and he ends up going to another big club for a big sum of money, you have to look at the Glazer ownership and think, well, what are you actually doing for this club? If you want to put so much into Tom Brady, into the NFL, into the Bucks, if you want to do that, do it. But sell Man United to someone that actually wants to invest in that team. We were saying earlier about Bruno's passion. That guy's got so much passion. He's like Tom Anderson and Andy Butler for my team. So much passion for the club, for the badge on the shirt. He's one of those players that won't settle for anything but not winning a trophy. He's that guy that wants to win a damn trophy. And Man United need to look at that and build a team around that. Sell the deadwood and bring in brand new players that have got that winning mentality that's going to gel as a squad that makes Man United compete. Because let's be perfectly honest here, looking back on this whole season so far, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the reason why Man United were in a title race to begin with is because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not because of the Glazers. Cavani was a free transfer. Let's be honest, the Glazers really didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the right way. Cavani was the bargain of the century, free transfer, experienced striker. Amad Diallo, up and coming. Palestri, up and coming, but going out on loan anyway. Van der Beek is like a 6th, 7th choice player at the minute, which I really don't agree with. I think if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'd be playing this in the 4-2-3-1, and I'd be having, if you're going for a very attacking team, I'd be having Bruno as the cam, and I'd be having Pogba and Van der Beek, or McTominay and Van der Beek, or Pogba and McTominay as box-to-box midfielders running in front of Bruno and behind Bruno. So that's how I'd be structuring Man United. But
no, I hear you on that completely. I think. Listen, Bruno's here. Like I said already today, Bruno's here to stay. He's going nowhere. People like Itest are mad. Listen, yeah. Aaron, thank you very much for coming.
Quickly, first of all, quickly before I go, thank you very much to the Football Terrace for giving me this platform. Like I said, I'm a Donny fan. I'm a League One fan, so it's nice to have this platform to speak neutrally and share stuff about my team as well. And for all the Donny fans watching, hopefully we get the win on Tuesday against Fleetwood, because we've got Tuesday games and Saturday games from now until the end of March. So hopefully we do get another 3 points. Then we've got Sunderland this weekend. So fingers crossed we get another 3 points there. We're 3 points off the league, 3 games in hand. Come on, in Darren Moore we trust. In Newcastle, don't you dare take my manager away from me. Come on.
There we go. Cheers, Darren. Thank you very much indeed. We're going to go to Kesh. Kesh is a Man United fan. What are you saying, Kesh?
What's up, Terry? Just a couple of thoughts regarding Everton's game. Itest, man, I mean, wow, right? Like, I don't know. If you're not happy with Bruno, I don't know what you can be happy with, right? Like, and statistics, yeah, that's one thing. But what about the mentality? What about, his approach? Like, all of that matters. You got to approach it holistically. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really going to get into that. Talked about it enough. Against Everton, I just want to say one thing, not just about the game in general, but I think the thing is, okay, Maguire's not going to be dropped whatsoever, right? He's not going to be dropped. And at the same time, I don't think he's a bad player. I just think that the captaincy takes a toll on what he wants to do and to show his full capabilities. So I think, hypothetically, if he did not have his captaincy, then I think he would be a better player. I think he can focus more on, his position. And man, lying on the floor like that for, 80 minutes into the game, 85 minutes into the game for a foul, it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing to see as the captain, for the captain to do that. So, I mean,
no,
yeah,
I agree. That for me, I maybe the captaincy is distracting him a little bit. There's no doubt about it. I'm getting a bit of feedback from your line there. I agree. It just wasn't isn't good enough. Man United needs so much more from him than that. That there's no doubt about it. Kesh, thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, brother. And Twisted Bubba, that's the funniest thing you've ever said. Top 6 +1 plus Dunker. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. It's funny. That is funny, man. That is funny. Kesh it's a different Kesh. Do you know what, brother? There's more than one person in the world with the name Kesh. I'm sure of it. Well, we just met another one, so there's two. There's two, and they're not brothers. Why would he? Hang on. Is Kesh's brother? What do you think is wrong with Kesh's mum and dad? They just went, well, call our first son Kesh. Oh, well done, Mr. and Mrs. Vlogs. You got another baby boy. What are you going to call him? Kesh. All their kids. They got a sister as well called Kesha. What do you think? All called Kesh. Family called Kesh. Oh, wow. Let's go to Nav. Naveen's on the show now. Naveen, welcome back to the terrace. What you saying, my brother?
Hi, Terry. Good morning.
Morning. What do you want to say, bro?
Yeah, I saw this breaking news from Terrace on Bruno's contract offer. Actually, it surprised me in a way because I thought he signed contract for 5 years. So I'm not sure if there's any relevance to the discussion, but they were discussing of upgrading his salary package, but probably Bruno want to keep it aside first before he actually decide to go and discuss about it. That's what I think. What do you think?
No, listen, mate. I think you're absolutely right to a degree. This is about a pay rise for Bruno Fernandes, nothing more. It's about rewarding him for the brilliant impact that he has had upon Manchester United. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And I think that the way the media are trying to twist this into, he's already having second thoughts. Maybe Ollie's comments are putting him off, blah, 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 blah. It's all just conjecture and nonsense. Nav, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Listen, everyone who's tuned into the Football Terrace today, thank you. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace and click on the bell notification button so you know when we go live. Also, check out Manscaped. You see the little promo thing there, little code TFT right there. Look, my fingers right there. Use promo code TFT for your 20% discount. Back later on today, got a West Ham fan coming on to preview the big FA Cup clash between United and West Ham tomorrow. Got a big Liverpool video coming up later on today as well. So stay tuned. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless.